Job market. Mark Anthony Dyson talks about on his podcast.
Yes. This isn't just about scarce jobs. It's about completely fake postings, fake employers, fake recruiters, even fake advice.
It sounds like a minefield.
It can be. Dyson really stresses vigilance. Job seekers have to verify everything, research the company Glassdoor, Reddit, wherever, be super skeptical of unsolicited offers, check email addresses, websites.
Wow, it adds a whole other layer of stress, doesn't it?
It really does. Coaches, you need to equip your clients to spot these scams. Critical thinking is key here.
I hope to have more discussion about how we can fight the deepfake videos, but it's two-handed. You're not just fighting as a job seeker. Companies are fighting it to prevent hiring fake employees. So you'll have to keep those things in mind when you're looking at video and especially when you're interviewing or when you come across something that looks ill. It's good to question it first. Even if it seems, unless you know somebody, they're very upfront with you, and you know them to create this kind of information, you've got to be able to calm down and decide no doubt first until they prove themselves to be.
These job scams evolving.
One of the biggest things that we see is deepfake videos are probably becoming the next big thing. We're seeing that now the softwares begin to catch up. People may not have to do the John Cena test, which is you see something might be suspect in an interviewer or somebody on a Zoom call or any other call, the lips are slow. Therefore, you got to identify, okay, they don't seem real. You ask the person, can you see me? And that's what I call the John Cena test. A lot of the software, Google VO3 has a software, as well as I believe Solar 2 is one that has been thrown around recently, where these videos come alive. And they're eventually going to catch up to where this could be a real conversation with four of us with nothing but avatars that look realistic. Job seekers are going to have to really start to identify very deeply the real companies and how they interview. You got to start asking those questions. How was my first interview? Is it with the avatar? Is it with a real person? What to expect? You've got to look at some of the prototypes to really be able to tell the difference between what's real and what's not real. It's practically at our doorstep coming out. And I feel bad for those who might be in a situation like federal government employees who are experiencing shutdown. Some of them may not make it back to their jobs and not get paid for what they've done in the past. So they're going to be pretty vulnerable to whoever may say, we got a special government program and you may have to take this fake certificate program to get into the program. And then you've got to pay somebody else to do something else. And that's just a hypothetical, but that's a possibility. You've got to be able to tell the difference if they're using some kind of video. So that's one of the big ones. I think is the biggest concern on my mind, because we validate everything through video. We tell people, hey, you're going to have video interviews. Now you possibly may have a fake video interview if you're not careful.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Hey, Jay, I was reading your awesome guide, the scam detection guide this morning. You talk about scam killing questions in that guide. Could you give the audience a taste of what they could get in that guide? What are scam killing questions?
Yeah, so the questions originate from you having the mindset that you're still in control of your career, because I mentioned when it comes to the mindset and being psychologically hampered by being laid off, it puts you in this position of feeling overly compliant. So you don't want to ask critical questions because you're trying to move fast and have that recruiter who you believe is real get you to a real opportunity. But when you do that, you lose the executive decision making that you have over your career. So ask questions like, who are you? Who have you placed recently? Where can I find you outside of LinkedIn? Because a lot of the fake recruiters, they don't have pictures anywhere else on the internet. They don't have any other social presence at all. And they have these bloviated titles and these dream career arcs. They'll say they worked at Tesla. They'll say they worked at Microsoft. They say they worked at Apple, because they're doing this process of using reputable companies to make you fall in love with the idea that, oh, this is a trusted person. So since they made it to these places, they can get me into these places. So ask questions. What is the name of your company? What is the website? what is the job requisition number, so you can search that rec number to see whether or not it actually is a real one. You can do Boolean search where you copy the job description, put quotes around it in Google, and then you can see, as to Ashley's earlier point, which I see constantly, is jobs will be listed on LinkedIn for 3 hours and you think it's a fresh job, but when you search for it using the quotes I mentioned, you'll find that exact same job description is 3 months old, or the job is actually closed. And that ties into job scraping, because job scraping is where companies can take job descriptions that they have no affiliation with, put them on their pages on LinkedIn, and act like they're hiring for the role. But what they're doing is they're being interlopers in the process and getting your email or whatever information they can to data harvest and sell your data to third-party data brokers. So it's a massive thing, but back to the scam killing questions is have power and know that you're valuable, know that you have the right to ask questions and be critical so you can make sure you're not entering into a scam.
Thank you. One thing that comes up for me when the three of us had this discussion as we prepared for our session together is I think that job seekers can build up some calluses and be really wary of everything coming at them. And then when they have a real human, a real recruiter reaching out for an awesome opportunity, there could be a tendency to not communicate back with that person in the warmest of ways because they've been deflecting. So what would you have our audience know about being vigilant while still maintaining that level of human that other people want to hire and not being too abrasive?
Yeah, that's why I say stay vigilant, because there's a difference between being vigilant and paranoid. Paranoid is you think everybody's out to get you, and vigilant is scammers are out to get you. So when you have that ability to compartmentalize, and this is the other thing I say, real recruiters know what is going on in the job market. They know how hard it is, because scammers make their jobs much more difficult because they hamper the job process. They apply as other people. They steal jobs. They steal their titles, content from their profiles. And when you're approaching them respectfully, say, hey, I'm very leery about scams, so can you just answer these few questions for me? I'm sure they'll be more amenable to that because they know that you're doing your due diligence and you're making their job easier at the same time.
Thank you for those who are tuning in, listening to the whole thing.